Hey guys, so today I'm here with a video comparing three of the top Android smartphones. So I'm going to be taking a look at the Motorola Droid 2, the myTouch 3G Slide for T-Mobile, as well as the Samsung Epic 4G for Sprint. Now the main thing that all of these phones have in common is that they all have a full slide-out keyboard. Of course though, if you're not interested in a keyboard and you're just fine with just a normal touchscreen, then there are several other great options such as the Droid X for Verizon, as well as the HTC Evo 4G for Sprint. However, I'm just going to be focusing on these three phones today. The original Motorola Droid was arguably the phone that kicked off Android, and so finally they have gotten around to releasing its successor, the Motorola Droid 2. So this one was just released this morning, or rather announced this morning, and it will be available tomorrow, the 11th, for pre-sale, and it'll actually be available in stores on the 12th. So guys, I'm going to be totally honest, this is the most leaked phone I've ever seen in my entire life. It leaked in every way. We know more, the press release didn't even have all the information that was leaked. I mean, it was ridiculous. So let's go ahead and just roll you guys through all the specs. So it has a 3.7-inch screen, just like on the original Droid. It comes preloaded with Android 2.2 Froyo. It has a 5-megapixel camera with just DVD quality video, so it's not high definition, but it's pretty decent. It also has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, as well as an included 8 gigabyte micro SD card. I've got to admit guys, the original Droid was one of my favorite phones, and the Droid 2 looks to just improve upon that. Now the problem is though, is that it really doesn't push the envelope. Sure, it's got a better keyboard, it's got Wi-Fi hotspot support, and a couple of smaller things like that, including a faster processor. However, it is still, for all intents and purposes, very similar to the original Droid. There's no front-facing camera, there's no high-definition camera on the back, there's no 4G support or anything like that. Basically, it is just they've improved quite a few things on the original Droid. That's it though guys, if you're interested, like I said, the release date will be tomorrow and the next day, and it will be available for $200 on Verizon. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Sprint's entry, which is the Samsung Epic 4G. As the Epic name suggests, it is actually a really quite powerful phone with the 1 GHz Hummingbird processor. Now actually this processor is very, very similar to what you would find in the iPhone 4 as well as the iPad, and it was really going to be one of the fastest available in any phone or even tablets. Now some of the specs included, it has a 4-inch Super AMOLED display, and this 4-inch display is really fantastic. The colors are really vibrant. It is one of the best displays on any phone available. It also comes with a custom build of Android 2.1, which is pretty nice. It has a 5-megapixel rear-facing camera with 720p high-definition video, which looks really great. And in addition, it also has a VGA front-facing webcam. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any sort of information about this price or when we will actually be able to get this Epic 4G. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the myTouch 3G Slide from T-Mobile. So this phone actually is not really in the same category as the previous two, as it's more of a mid-range phone where those are very, very high range. However, if you're on T-Mobile, it's definitely the best thing you can get with Android and a keyboard. So some of the specs include it has a 3.4-inch touchscreen. It runs Android 2.1 with a very custom T-Mobile interface. It's somewhat similar to HTC Sense, but has some extra things onto it. In addition, it has a 5-megapixel camera. Like I said guys, this phone is not going to be, the latest specs. It doesn't have the highest power processor or anything like that. However, if you're looking for an Android phone with a keyboard on T-Mobile, this is definitely your best bet. If you're interested, it is already available today for $180 on a 2-year contract. Okay, so let's just sum up all the phones we just talked about. So the Motorola Droid 2 is a really pretty competent device. It's not going to be a huge upgrade, and if you already have an original Droid, there's probably not a huge reason to upgrade. It's got almost the exact same everything. I mean, the screen's the same size, the camera's pretty much the same, the keyboard's somewhat improved, but basically, I mean, it's a very, very similar phone. However, if you are looking for a phone with a keyboard, especially on Verizon, it's going to be hard to pass up. On the other hand, with T-Mobile, you can go ahead and get the myTouch 3G Slide, which is a pretty decent phone if you don't have to have the most cutting-edge phone ever. It's not going to be the fastest, but still going to get the job done no problem. However, if it was my pick, I would definitely go with the Samsung Epic 4G. It's pretty much got the best of all worlds. It's got the same really nice slide-out keyboard as on the Droid and on the myTouch 3G Slide, but it also has that fantastic 4-inch Super AMOLED display, the really fast 1 GHz Hummingbird core, as well as a front-facing camera, high-definition video, and of course support for Sprint's 4G network. So really, of course, while we haven't seen it, it's actually not fully out. They probably will be announcing it in the next couple weeks. maybe a month or so. As long as it's not really all that much expensive, and generally Sprint actually tends to be cheaper than most other carriers, I think it's definitely going to be a winner. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.